So recently I started writing a how to revise guide because a couple of people in my year were coming up to me and saying, Rach, how do you cope with all the BMS content? How do you retain it in your mind and do so well in the summative and formative? Well, we can't all be perfect humans, can we? I'm joking. All of my success is entirely down to Study Club. If you don't know what Study Club is, then you can come along on Monday and find out. What is Study Club? I've never heard of this thing. Well, my friends, allow me to enlighten you. We started running Study Club in about October last year, just before the formative, or for the coming weeks running up to the formative. And each time we had a session, we had a different person from the group standing up and presenting a lecture, or the information from the lecture that they'd learned. And it became a very effective revision tool for us all. We picked up information that we'd missed from revision, it also motivated us to start revising, and it was good fun. I could give you some more details of why Study Club is so brilliant, but first let me inform you guys that we are starting our first Study Club session on Monday the 4th of February. If you'd like to see our February schedule, I will put a picture of it up now so you can have a little look. What we will be covering, where and what times, and who's leading it. All that information, I'll put that on the screen now so you can have a little look. And we're starting with a 2 Morphology masterclass led by Nima, who's in BDS 2. So he's a second year Done student at King's, and he's really good at 2 Morphology. His talk is basically how to pass the identification test with the minimum amount of knowledge and details needed. So if you're a bit stressed about that, or just want to, run over it again, I'd highly recommend coming to this on Monday. We're meeting at 4 PM in the Anatomy Lecture Theatre. Nima has very kindly booked it for us, and then afterwards we may go to the Gordon Museum just to run over a few more things, and a little bit of practice, last minute questions, etc. I would like to stress, anybody is welcome to come to Study Club at any time, as long as you guys know the dates and where we're meeting and what we're covering and all that sort of stuff. Just come along, even if you're not in the group chat. If you want to be added to the group chat, then please DM me and I'll add you. Or speak to Rhea, she's also a group admin. And so the topics we're covering this term are TCA cycle and oxidative phosphorylation, kidney functions 1 and 2, microcirculation and capillary filtration, fat storage and transport, hemostasis, which is a really hard lecture, good luck to Negan for that one, glucose and glycogen metabolism, amino acid and protein metabolism, pharmacology of the cardiovascular system, energy release from fat, and we do have a few more topics that need to be covered.
Like the integration of metabolism 1 2, pharmacology of cholinergic transmission,
pharmacology of the sympathetic nervous system. If any of those topics are of interest to you, then please can you let me know.
And I can put you down for the March sessions. Those haven't been drawn up yet, so that's still in the works as we speak. But yeah, hopefully I look forward to seeing everybody. So don't forget, Monday, 4 PM, Anatomy Lecture Theatre, Hodgkin Building. Nima's leading a 2 Morphology talk, which is straight after our lectures that day. I think it'll be really useful. Alright, so that's the first part of the video out of the way. The next thing I wanted to talk about is Study Club and why it's just so brilliant and so useful. I've mentioned this before in my Try Something New video, or Try New Things, or whatever it was called. That terrible first video I made. Please don't watch it. The rambling is even worse than what you're watching right now. But basically it was an idea that kind of stemmed from, or was inspired by, my experience running chemistry and literature societies while I was still at sixth form. And it was the exact same setup, a group of people getting together, all studying something, and a different person getting up and writing on the whiteboard, presenting to each other and teaching what we'd learned. And I found that was such an effective way to get through my A-levels. I mean, alongside all of the other revision I was doing, but that was a huge part of it. It's really good fun, so let me get straight into what I wanted to say in this. Here are the 6 reasons why you should come to Study Club. 1. You pick up information that you may have missed from a lecture. Look, even if you revise the topic inside out and you think that you know it perfectly, I guarantee you that the person who's presenting the topic will have learned it in a slightly different way, maybe picked out on something that you missed, or they may emphasise a particular point that helps you remember it long term because of the way that they teach it. So all of this just helps strengthen the connections in your mind of how everything works, and you may discover something new. 2. If you haven't revised at all, this is a great way back in. Don't sweat it if you don't understand everything or anything. Like, don't worry how much you don't know. You will start to pick up the odd couple of bits, and you can always ask questions as well to whoever's presenting and ask them to repeat something they just said, or, whatever. But what you're doing by coming to Study Club is that you're basically priming your brain. So when you look at the lecture content later and revise properly on your own, you've already made your brain a bit more awake and a bit more receptive to the information, so when you learn it properly, it will go in much, much easier. What I'm trying to emphasise here is it's good to come even if you haven't revised the topic. A lot of people last term said, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I should come because I've not gone over this lecture yet and I need to get things organised and go over it on my own first. Which I can understand like why you would do that, but at the same time, it's really good practice to revise things cold, you know, where you haven't looked at things for ages, and just kind of throw yourself into the experience where you've not thought about it, and you'll start to do this thing called active recall, where you bring things from the very recesses, like the back of your mind, to the forefront. And when you do that, that helps you learn it like seriously long term. Like you really, really get to grips with the information. 3, you feel smart. Hopefully. What I'm trying to say here is that if you have gone over the lecture, then you feel reassured with what other people know and that it matches what you know, so you know that you've learnt it properly, and that's pretty much it. 4, building friends and camaraderie. So I've met so many people this year literally just because of study club. If I just stuck to my core group of friends, my squaderino, then I really wouldn't have got out there and met like half the year, which I've managed to because of how big study club has grown and the amount of people that come. You know, but loads of people come and they're not even in the group chat, and that's fine. Like the only thing the group chat's for is sometimes we post a few resources and just a few reminders about when the things coming out. As this is kind of growing in popularity, I may end up just posting in the BDS1 chat nowadays. We'll see how we go. And because I'm making these YouTube videos too, I'll probably make more YouTube videos as we go along. Sorry, that was a little bit of an aside. The only other thing I wanted to mention about study club building friendships and stuff is that it's hugely eliminated or hugely reduced competitivity. So many people in our year have kind of like bonded over study, like because we're all in the same environment, we're working together. It's really helped build a sense of solidarity. Yeah, it just doesn't feel hostile and competitive, which I certainly have experienced in the past at grammar school when a lot of people didn't work together, and that wasn't too pleasant. A number of people didn't like working together and they kind of just worked on their own, but if you work together then you can kind of pull each other up, and I feel like that's just a great way to go through life, like helping other people, and you know, you all learn things from each other. But anyway, 5, practice public speaking and presenting skills. It's quite nerve-wracking when you first get up there, I won't lie, because you're in front of all of your friends and you've really got to know what you're talking about. They've all made the effort to come to this, so it forces you to prepare something good. And that kind of links to the last point, so number 6, teaching is the best way to learn. You end up learning the information much better than anybody else because it forces you to kind of learn it inside out. So in the end, the person who benefits the most is actually the person presenting that particular topic. Alright, I think I pretty much nailed the 6 reasons why you should come. I hope I've convinced everybody watching this video that you should come to study club. But yeah, that's all I have to say for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. One, you pick up the... 1, don't pick up the phone, you know he's only calling, you're gonna lie. No.